This junk collector was actually a treasure expert. With just one glance, he saw the kid's walnut-cracking iron stove was a rare antique, so he lured the kid with candy to let him take a look. He took the stove and examined it carefully for a while. He realized the stove was at least 800 years old, and it was worth at least 7 figures. Not wanting to miss a chance to get rich, he asked the kid to bring out an elder from the family. He claimed he wanted to buy the stove to use as an incense burner, but before the kid could return, his father stormed out, furious. He angrily accused the man of being a scammer. The man quickly explained, saying his house was missing something to burn incense in, and that's why he was out collecting junk. The father immediately refused, saying the stove was passed down from his own father and would never be for sale. But the man calmly said it was just a piece of scrap metal and offered to buy it for $12. The father was instantly tempted by the price, but to get more, he said he wouldn't sell it for less than $15. The man pretended the price was too high and started to leave. Not wanting to lose the deal, the father called him back to talk. In the end, the man bought the $1 million treasure for $15. With money in his pocket, he rushed to the neighbor's house to hunt for more treasures, because people in the village once said the neighbor's ancestors used to work in the royal palace. So the house must have items that only exist in the palace. The man shouted loudly at the gate on purpose. The neighbor got excited when he heard him. He told the man to wait right there. Soon, he brought out a pile of plates and placed them in front of the man. Then he said there were still a bunch of bottles inside he hadn't brought out. With that, he turned around and went back inside. The man checked the plates, but found they were all worthless. Just then, the neighbor came out holding 2 blue and white porcelain vases. The man saw them and had to hold back his joy. He pretended to frown and said he could maybe take them home to let his wife use them as flower pots. Then he said he'd buy everything except the plates. But the neighbor panicked and said he would only sell everything as a full set. With no choice, the man paid $39 for the whole lot. To protect the vases, he even took a blanket from the neighbor's house. The neighbor looked at him and thought he was an idiot. But what he didn't know was that the man had traveled back in time. In his previous life, he was dirt poor. But now that he had a second chance, he swore to change his fate. The next day, he called a friend to make money with him, then brought him to Tony's house to buy plates, because he clearly remembered Tony had an antique that was worth a fortune. Not wanting to miss any chance, he called out from the door. Tony came out, annoyed. To avoid suspicion, the man lied and said his cousin was getting married and needed plates. Then he asked if he could buy a few. Hearing that it could make money, Tony pulled out a bunch of plates to sell, but after the man cleaned them, he realized they were all worthless, so he said they weren't enough. Tony went back inside to keep looking. A little while later, Tony brought out a plate he used to feed his dog. When the man cleaned it, he instantly realized it was exactly what he was looking for. Without saying a word, he bought it immediately. After they left, his friend asked how much it could sell for. When the man said $10,000, his friend was stunned on the spot.